could be even further ahead. One good save by Ortega denied Alexander Isak, but at half-time in this FA Cup quarter-final, City lead Newcastle by 2-0, and there's a lot of very unhappiness out there that Fabian Schär hasn't received a second yellow card, but at the moment it is 11 against 11. Well, let's go back to the studio. Plenty to talk about, and we'll be in the company of Cel Spellman, David James and Paul Dickov.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. It's half-time at the Etihad Stadium, and it is Manchester City 2, Newcastle 0 in this FA Cup quarter-final tie. So 45 minutes done, 45 minutes still to go, 45 minutes away, hopefully, from that other trip to Wembley. Paul Dickov and David James with me in the studio. Paul, I'll begin with you. What was your assessment of the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, entertaining. I wondered beforehand how Newcastle would set up. Would it be a back four, back five? They went back five. I'm just amazed how high they are on the amount of space that our guys are getting. And I don't know if Eddie will change or not at half-time, but I don't know whose idea it was to put Lascelles onto Doku, because he's absolutely destroying him every time he gets the ball, and he's getting left one-on-one. But yeah, look, dominant performance. Possibly could have been more goals. They'll say 2 deflected goals, but you don't shoot, you don't score.
No, you don't indeed. 2 Bernardo Silva as strikes as well. We'll get to them in just a second. But it was a very complete kind of first-half performance. We're looking at the Newcastle setup as well. So they've gone for the 5 at the back. Is that working for them? Do you think that kind of is partly why maybe City have been so dominant, David?
No, it's not working. No. I don't think the system is the issue here. When you think of the opportunities, I think Kyle Walker early on in that first half got down the right-hand side a few times, whipped some early-ish crossing. There was no one in the middle. Other than that, it's been a bit more of a slower process in the build-up. The Bradker, I think, has only made 1 save, and that was right at the end of the first half, a proper save, unless you include a corner, which he saved. But I think it's just more the personnel. And Doku, we mentioned before the game started, I mean, he must be licking his lips still, because the amount of times he's had the ball, being able to run at players like Lascelles, draw the foul and the booking from Lascelles, gives him even more freedom now.
Yes.
And right at the end there with the one-on-one with the Bradker, you know, on another day maybe he'll be able to slip it in, but I can't see where Newcastle are going to improve this, especially in formation-wise, without possibly going 6 at the back.
Yeah, and look, they've had the one chance, haven't they? And the one person they would have wanted it fell to would be Isak, but fantastic save. We spoke about Stefan Ortega before the game, you know, about being mentally switched on and ready for it, and he showed that there again.
He really did indeed. Let's look at the goals then. So the first one, as you say, City dominating, and it was a Bernardo Silva strike, huge deflection though, but still one in the back of the net. Yeah,
and again, the difficulty is and I think if I'm that Newcastle defence, you've got the likes of Bernardo Silva with a little shake of the hips, and he's going to throw anyone in any direction, and any kind of space will allow him to get the shot off. It would have been interesting to see what would happen without the deflection, whether De Bradker would have made the save. But the deflection was wicked. It's looped proper over him in the, I'd say, top corner in at the far side. And ironically, it was the first shot on target and a goal. And then the second goal, I think, was a second shot on target and then a goal. Loads of chances, but not enough on target. But from De Bradker's point of view, 2 deflections. What can you do? Yeah, what can you do? I mean, that's usually actually the other way around, isn't it? City usually have lots of shots on target, and sometimes they're not kind of going in, but they have been going in, and definitely maybe a bit of the rub of the green on Bernardo's side again for the second one, Paul. It
is, and it looks very similar. He's cutting again, but like David said there, you know, Newcastle have got playing 3 at the back, the 5 at the back. They've got the midfielders dropping in. You don't give Bernardo Silva 2 or 3 yards to open his body out in the box. Do you know what I mean? They're talking about top-class players here. And have a shot. Yeah, it took the deflection. It was weird sitting watching it here. We didn't know what quite happened, whether Dubravka had just jumped over it, but I think it was Botman, wasn't it, that just sort of... great finish it was as well. Yeah, it was he always had the ball down, so that's what always happens. Yeah.
David, sorry.
No, I don't, just because the viewers from the Champions League game where it was all A's. Yeah, Aki Akanji and Haaland. We've had Bernardo with 2 goals. Yeah, Byrne and Botman with the deflection. So just wait for Oscar Bob to come on.
There we go. Then it'll be complete. Yeah. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? The second half, David.
Bob to come on as
well. We just Steve Howie's asked the question. Actually,
you can imagine what our conversations like watching the game after
that. Can't you? Steve Howie's asking, and David, you might be the man to ask if there has ever been a hat-trick scored of deflected goals.
I can't. No, I can't.
I can't think of anyone doing it.
That one doesn't come up, does it? Deflection?
No, not at all. Not at all. Is it getting the second goal?
I think it has gone down. It has gone. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's his, really, does it? It's his shot.
Yeah, that's true.
Oscar Bob would definitely get a hat trick.
If he comes on. Yeah. Just at the end there, we saw the players going into the tunnel. The footage there that we brought you, conversation between Kyle Walker and the referee. There was also on the pitch behind us we could see Haaland straight over to the referee. Do we think Newcastle are lucky to still have 11 men?
I think Shar's extremely lucky. He's already been booked. He's left another one on him from behind at the halfway line. So if he's not been booked, he books him for that again. You know, and I think he's given the benefit of the doubt. Should he give him the benefit of the doubt? I don't think he should. You know, if he's booked him, it's very similar. Both tackles are very similar.
I can see the. If I was playing devil's advocate, I could see the referee's position, because in the end it didn't look vicious. And ultimately, when Erling Haaland goes down, if you're not sure if it was a vicious tackle, as in a booking, you've let play on. I don't think he's let the player go on to avoid the booking. I just think he wasn't sure, and you can't go to VAR for a booking or anything like that. So I'm giving the referee the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he thought it was. Of course, but you would never. No.
Well, that's why we're balanced on this show on Matchday Live. It does feel, we were talking about City's record in this competition, an amazing stat. I think since the FA Cup run from 2023, we were at an aggregate score of 31-3, which now is obviously at 33-3. It's such a complete performance. How much of it is that City have been dominating? Actually, maybe that Newcastle shape hasn't quite worked and they haven't quite been at it defensively anyway, because they have kind of threatened going forward.
I think a little bit of both. You know, David said at the very start, I don't think it's Newcastle shape that's causing the problem. I think it's individuals that are out there, especially from a defensive point of view. But you know, if you're going to give Man City players space to play in the middle of the park, they're going to destroy you. You know, and even when they are getting back in, like the 2 goals, you know, the 5, the 3, the 2, all within 30 yards, and they're still giving Bernardo Silva like 3-4 yards of space to turn and look at his head up and turn and look his head up and shoot. You know, so they've got to say a lot of it is Newcastle not being at the best, but if you're going to give Man City space, then they're going to hurt you.
I was going to say what I found interesting again, you described it so well, when you got that 5-3-2 formation effectively in a defensive unit, and it was so tight right at the beginning of the game, and you're looking at it, I'm thinking, what is City going to do? Pass, and it was working. For Bernardo to get his first shot off, take a deflection and go in, that just knocks the stuffing out of you, especially when it's early in the game. Then you kind of try and get back into it. And I think going offensively, they were getting in positions and giving the ball away, or, which I liked even better, the likes of Kovacic were getting involved and winning the ball back. And again, when the stuff has been knocked out, you get that little bit of hope, and then all of a sudden the speed of the defences around you. Then when you get your chance for Isak, and Ortega produces a fantastic save, you're probably sitting in the change room going, okay, I think the FA Cup's over this season. No, you don't want them to do that, of course. You want them to make a game of it, but everything that they've tried to do so far has gone against them.
They'll still be dangerous, especially the first 20 minutes of the second half. They'll still be dangerous. I think seeing Almiron warming up there, so whether he's going to change it a little bit, whether that's the shape or take one of the forward players off, I don't know.
I mean, also as well, we've seen the pace of Gordon. I mean, Isak as well has, you know, maybe not fashioned like some clear-cut chances, but has been getting on the ball. So I guess the next goal, not to sound cliche, Paul, is so important, isn't it, in the second half?
Yeah, it is. It is. Look, if City get it, I would like them to keep it at 3-0, because that was my prediction before the game. It will be game over. But
it was your prediction, but you did say Newcastle fantastic, score loads of goals and got brilliant players.
And not score a goal.
Balance. All about balance. Right, let's take a slight pause. We're playing Mystery Blue. That is where we pose to you 3 clues, and you have to try and work out who is the Mystery Blue we're talking about. And I have to say, across the last few seasons, Paul Dickov got this in record time. It's almost like he only needed to see the first part of that first clue and he knew it. This player scored in the Premier League for 7 different teams, including both sides today. This player was well known for his fiery temper, and it's not Paul Dickov. And the third clue, this man is now assistant coach to another Man City legend.
Okay, yes.
Do you know who it is now?
Yes, I do.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be giving the answer at full time. And is his hairdo?
I think he had a lot of different hairdos.
No.
Right. No, I haven't got it. No, I haven't got it. Right, no, I've got it.
If you want to get your WhatsApp guesses into that as well, I'll be reading out some people who guessed it right at full time. That's when, of course, you can find out who our mystery blue was. Also, then at full time as well, don't forget about the Julian Alvarez signed shirt. That is with your chance to win the Julian Alvarez signed shirt. That competition opens at the end of the game. We had this question coming from Josh on WhatsApp. What do we make of Doku in this game? Playing more in the free role and coming from a central position?
Yeah, well, again, we sort of anticipated that he'd enjoy this type of defence, if you like, one that leaks goals. Done some very positive things. I think that, again, indicative of Doku's season, he gets in these positions, and once he's learning how to finish off better, then he will be doubly dangerous. And I think, again, if I'm a Newcastle defender, I'm thinking, I don't want you running at me. But he is going to run it. When Lascelles gets booked, now, as you say, is it Shah's been booked? If I'm Doku, I'm thinking, which one do I want to get sent off first? Because I'm just going to run straight at them. So he's going to have a big influence on this.
And he's important to remember as well, isn't it? I mean, he was still in his first season and still so young.
Just took the words out of my mouth. He's a super talent. I think people forget he's 21 years old and he's still a young boy. Probably still getting used to how Pep wants him to play, how to play in this team. But it shows flashes of brilliance at times.
Yeah, it really does. I wanted to ask you this question. This one came in from Sean. And he says, what's it like playing in a side looking to counter-attack for Paul? How is it from a striker's point of view, being up the other end and waiting for the long ball? And then to David, how much faith do you have in your defence in those situations? It's a great question there, 2 parts.
A lot of the teams I played in did have to play counter-attacking football. And it can be frustrating, because as a forward, you want to get as many touches in the ball as you can, especially early in the game. But what you've got to do is make sure that when you do get that chance, or the ball does come to you, you've got to hold it up first and foremost to get your team up the pitch, because otherwise, if it keeps coming back, you're in trouble. And just keep your mind sharp, and believe that you're going to get chances, because you can go through a majority of the game and not have one chance, and you think, come on. When you do get that chance, you've got to be ready for it.
You've got to be ready, focus and concentration. And then from a keeper's point of view, you mean, of course, you've got to have big faith in your defence, I'm assuming, David?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you're playing. I mean, if you're, I'm thinking the way I used to play, I used to love getting the ball and going as quick as I could to start a counter-attack. There was quickly, anecdotally, we played Tottenham in a semi-final of an FA Cup 2010, 1-0 up in extra time. I caught the ball, fell on the floor, saw we had a player on the halfway line, a quick throw, we ended up getting a penalty and winning 2-0. That was my kind of game. And when on the flip side, I don't think I was in a strong enough side too often to worry about. It was usually us defending.
Sean, that's a great question. Thank you so much. Daddy's got a question here, but I'm going to save that one till full time. It's a nice one to finish on. Right, second half then, gents. I guess, Paul, it'll be much from the same from Pep Guardiola in the Man City dressing room.
Yeah, I would expect Newcastle to come out and maybe have a bit more of a go than what they have done. You know, we said at the start of the game, it is a cup tie. It's the only chance they've got left to win anything. But at the same time, you know, from Man City's point of view, I'd like to see maybe create a little bit more chances. That might sound a little bit silly, winning 2-0 at half-time, but we've actually not tested Dubravka that much.
No, I think with the chances have been created, the finishing just hasn't been there. There's a lot of shots off target.
I mean, I'm going to ask you, David, who would you like to see maybe come on from the bench?
Have
a little think.
It's Oscar season.
It's Oscar season.
It's Oscar season.
Oscar season.
Oscar, the best Oscar will be for Bob.
Yeah, indeed. Well, and we've just seen here on the pitch as well, I think Paul was saying it before, it looks like maybe Almiron would come on. We know how much of a threat he is. So one just to be wary of, I guess, as well from the defensive point of view for the boys in blue, Paul.
Yeah, but I think he's maybe been brought on for a couple of reasons. Maybe change of shape, but the one thing, Almiron, even if he's not getting any joy going forward, he'll work his socks off and make sure he gets back into a good shape for the team.
Absolutely. Listen, gents, thank you so much. Well, you can see a very animated Pep Guardiola there. I love seeing him in this. Talking to Kovacic and Rob. What do you think he's saying there? Do you think he's talking like a quicker release or playing more, do we think?
Yeah, well, what I do like, and I don't think Oscar Bob will be coming on at half-time, is that this is not done. Like you said, there are still threats from Newcastle.
Yeah.
And Pep doesn't like to make substitutions unless he's fully comfortable that City are going to win the game. So I love seeing him at half-time doing that. I'm thinking you've already won this game, but you obviously don't. and that's why you win trebles.
That is indeed, and it is, well, we're still in the hunt for all three, especially with the scoreline. So, currently 2-0 to Manchester City, 45 minutes to go, 45 minutes between us and another trek to Wembley. David James excited to see Mr. Oscar Bob there. We'll see if he comes on. Come join us at full-time. We'll be reflecting on the game and then doing a little look ahead as well to the international break and beyond. Have a lovely second half. I'll see you at full-time. Come on, City.
Thanks, Ted. Thank you, Kel. Good timing. Newcastle hit the pitch. And, well, they've got an awful lot of work to do to get themselves back into this cup tie. The Blues seemingly in control. Alongside me, the former City and indeed Newcastle defender, Steve Howie. Steve, from a Newcastle perspective, what do they have to do to try and get themselves back into this game? Obviously,